two worldviews can be a little bit tricky to distinguish from one another because they have some real similarities. The one we're going to talk about today, and it'll bleed into Monday, but is pantheism and then spiritism. And there's some crossover between those two worldviews. And I should tell you that these are the worldviews as taught by Anchors Away. Different curricula is going to give you a different list of worldviews, but they'll be pretty much the same categories. Pantheism, to give our little picture of the guy, now he's not really happy or sad, he's just kind of dazed, I think. So at the top, why do you think now it says God in all caps?
Because that's
the God of the Bible. So the God of the Bible is not part of pantheism, nor spiritism. But you see within the square, you see God, 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 God everywhere, right? And so that pan means, right, everywhere or all along the spectrum, right? So theism, pantheism, is that God is everything, and everything is God. Now, depending on the brand of pantheism, they could believe that God is everything and everything is God. So collectively, all of what we would call creation is God. But there are some pantheists that would say literally everything is God. That table is God. That empty Gatorade bottle is God. That water bottle is God. Those books are God. You are God. I am God. But some would just say it's those things that are what we would call created. They would call it created. The other option is to say that collectively, together, we comprise of God. We're each part of God. And collectively, not just people, but everything is part of God and collectively makes up God. Elijah, can you look up here? I don't know what's so funny, but Elijah. Attention. So God is in everything and in everyone, or God is everything and is everyone. I think is probably even more accurate. And then what we see as reality, Davis. What we see as reality is an illusion. Like I see individuals, right? I see Zeke, I see Quentin, I see Carter, I see Ben, and pantheism would tell us that's an illusion. We are all one, where there's no individual, there's no separateness, and that is an illusion. To believe that we're beings and we're separate from everything else. That I am a separate being from everyone and everything else in the universe. The reality that we can't see, that we can't understand, is that we are one with everything, and that is God. So man is an illusion. There's no distinction between good and evil. They don't talk in terms of what is good and what is evil. They talk in terms of what is enlightened and what is unenlightened. And ultimately, what is enlightened is good and what is unenlightened is bad. But that's not the terminology that they would use. So I'm going to give you a few, and I want to say this too. So it isn't so much that God is in everything or that everything is a God. It is that everything is God or a part of God. Collectively, we all make up that ultimate reality that Christians would call God, that pantheists would call the ultimate reality. So here are some key characteristics of pantheism. God is everything and everyone. The universe and all that is in it is divine. And again, some people would say it's living things that are divine, but some would say that you ate some divine gummy bears. origami, whatever they are, right? That even inanimate things are divine. And so then everything is interconnected. We're all part of each other, and the universe is all part of each other or itself as well. So it is the exact opposite of naturalism. Naturalism, what does naturalism say? Only what exists. Only the physical exists, right? That's all that exists. There's nothing spiritual. It's all physical. This is the exact opposite. It's all spiritual. There is no physical. What we see as physical is an illusion. It's all spiritual. So only the spiritual dimension exists, but ultimately it's unknowable, at least completely, until we're fully enlightened. And then man is one with the ultimate reality. Now I'm gonna couch that in a little bit different terms because let's take Buddhism for example. In Buddhism, you are one with the ultimate reality, but you only learn that through enlightenment. And so you go through this process, and we'll talk about reincarnation, but you go through this reincarnation process, hopefully becoming more and more and more and more enlightened until you're fully enlightened, and then you understand that reality. And once you're fully enlightened, you realize that you are one with the ultimate reality, but actually you go poof into it, so you don't really realize it because it basically ceases to exist. So enlightenment is the process of understanding that truth, coming to realize that truth. That's what enlightenment is. The process of realizing that we are actually one with the ultimate reality. We just don't see or understand it until we're fully enlightened. And truth and enlightenment comes through a oneness with the universe and realizing that you are one with the universe. And so the highest duty of human beings is to seek that oneness through spiritual enlightenment, through yoga, not through rational thought, but through spiritual understanding. And in pantheism, they don't talk so much about what's good and what's evil, only enlightened or unenlightened would be the term. Now, there's a newer iteration of this that's come about in recent years, and that's the idea of the universe being that ultimate reality. Or maybe not being the ultimate reality, but the universe having spiritual, godlike qualities of its own. So you may have heard somebody say, the universe gave back to me. Like I gave to the universe and the universe gave back to me. And it's kind of a macro level karma thing. Like if you do something good, then good things happen to you. If you do something bad, bad things happen to you. And it's the idea that the universe is a spiritual thing that can give you gifts for giving to it. Doesn't make sense. And the universe is itself created, right? It reminds me of what Romans says, that they chose to worship the creation instead of the creator. And that's exactly what pantheists do. They worship the creation rather than the creator. So I'm going to show you some pictures here, and I'll play a couple of clips for you to kind of go through these key characteristics. So you might not have been allowed to watch this movie. You may know this movie. Pocahontas. Lane called it Thokahontas, so we call it Thokahontas in our family. Anybody who's seen Pocahontas, what do you see of the pantheist theology in Pocahontas? Nature's a lie. Yeah. God is everything and everyone. The universe and everything in it is divine. Everything is what? Connected. Everything is connected. Only the spiritual dimension exists. And we come to understand the truth when we understand our own oneness with the universe. So, here's a couple of things from Pocahontas. And I think it'll be pretty easy for you to find what is pantheistic in this. Okay, the big song.
I make you savage. In so many places.
What do you see of
Life, spirit, and a man.
yes, every rock, tree, everything, creation,
They're just trying to make like a magic type of theme though. It's just Disney.
It is Disney, but every thing that's created, every movie, every song has a worldview. Whether or not they espouse that worldview, it does have it. And this has, I'm not saying it's bad, but it is espousing. And then this is also Pocahontas, a similar sort of thing. Talking to grandmother Willow, so her grandmother is.
What is my path? How am I ever going to find it? Your mother asked me the very same question. She did? What did you tell her? I told her to listen. All around you are spirits, child. They live in the earth, water, sky. If you listen, they will guide you. I hear the wind. Yes. What is it telling you? I don't understand.
That is every movie. He's like,
So what do you see of pantheism in that?
the tree is talking. She's talking to
She is talking. I don't know. I don't think so.
Tree's talking.
I meant to turn that off. So what do you see of pantheism? Her grandmother is a tree. What does the grandmother tell her? Yeah, everything has a spirit. Everything has a name. The wind even is speaking to you. What is it saying? What is the wind saying? That's oops. Okay, so Pocahontas, you may have seen it. A very similar sort of movie. It's about two brothers that can't get along, and so the shaman, I think, turns them into bears so they can learn to get along with each other. Sort of a similar theme. What do you know about Oprah? Oprah's not as popular as she once was, but yes.
Wait, was Oprah the one you said? Yeah.
Is she like a trillionaire?
Hang on. Shh. What were you saying?
Isn't she a trillionaire or something?
I don't know what that is.
Well, she's like really rich.
Oh yeah, she's one of the wealthiest women. At one point she was the wealthiest woman in the United States, at least. But she has a very pantheistic worldview, a very pantheistic way of looking at the world. I'll be showing you a clip, I think, next week that shows that a little bit. And then this is the god Shiva. He's a Hindu. Shiva is a Hindu god and one of the highest gods. And Hindus would say they don't worship their gods. Buddhists definitely say they don't worship their gods, that they don't worship Buddha. But, they dress them up and they bring them food and they pray to him. And, if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and acts like a duck, it's a duck. But they say they aren't worshiping. And so this god Shiva is one of many gods in the Hindu religion. And then this is called the Ark of Hope. And it was intentionally made to look like the Ark of the Covenant, the Israelites' Ark of the Covenant. And it's supposed to have an aura that promotes enlightenment and peace, and it travels around to bring peace to the earth. There's some books, some pantheistic books that are inside of the Ark. The Ark is said to have the ability to bring world peace. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working very well at all. So years and years ago, my friend Stan Parker said to me, we were talking about this idea of world peace, and he said, "What's wrong with world peace?" And I was like, I didn't understand where he was headed with that. But here's where he was headed with that. Why do we not have world peace? Because of sin, right? We are sinful. And so we will not in this world you will have tribulation, right? Jesus said, "But be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." And that's when we'll have world peace. This ark isn't going to bring peace. Nothing's going to bring peace except Jesus. Someday, he will bring peace to the earth, but not while sin is reigning on the earth. So, okay, how does the this worldview of pantheism answer the 5 life questions. So the first question is, from where did I come? And they say here that the universe created itself, and the universe and everything in it, including man, was a result of random, impersonal, and undirected forces of nature. I'm not so sure that that's what some pantheists believe. Certainly not spiritists. What I've read is that we are emanations from the random forces that create reality. Like, the reality is that everything is one. We don't see that reality because we're not enlightened. And the more enlightened we become, the more we see that we are not separate people. So we're not, Ben and Quentin and Grace and all that. We're one. And we don't see that because we are not enlightened. And so that oneness emanates things. And that's where we came from. Yes.
Kind of like hippie coming thought.
Not too dissimilar, minus the LSD, but yeah, minus the drugs. But yeah, it's similar. It's a similar idea. And so that's where we come from. And then why is there such a mess in the world? There's a mess in the world because people aren't enlightened. Unenlightened people foment dissension and fighting and bigotry and all those other things. So then, is there any hope? What is our hope? Become enlightened. If the whole world becomes enlightened, it'll be perfect. When the whole world realizes that everything is God, that we're all one part of one larger reality, then we will have less of a mess in the world. So seek enlightenment. And then, is there any hope? Oh, I already said that. What is my purpose in life? To become enlightened, to connect with the universe, and to understand the universe through meditation, through yoga. Oh, that's what I was going to. What are your thoughts on yoga?
Good for meditating.
Yeah, yeah. Right. There's a difference. There's a difference between, look, these are great stretching exercises, right? And the difference between that and now buy into this worldview. When I was a little girl in 4th and 5th grade, we lived in Korea, and I took Taekwondo at the base gym, and the instructor was Korean. I was really cute. We have videos of me in my little outfit. And before each lesson, he would have us meditate, and I had no idea what that meant. I only knew how to pray, so I would talk to Jesus because I didn't know what meditate meant. There is a worldview connected to yoga. Yoga can't. This is my opinion. Yoga can be divorced from that worldview, but if the worldview is being espoused in whatever yoga class you're taking, I would not be comfortable with that, and I wasn't comfortable with it in 4th grade either. Yes, did you ever hear that? Okay. So is there any hope? The hope is enlightenment. What is my purpose in life? To connect more deeply with the universe, to understand the truth of nature and humans and the universe through meditation, through yoga. And then what happens when I die? Reincarnation. Life is a series of births, deaths, and rebirths until you become fully enlightened. Hopefully, you go up that ladder of reincarnation. We might yo-yo a bit, but hopefully you eventually get to complete enlightenment. In Buddhism, at least, when that happens, you just go poof into Brahman. You go poof into the ultimate reality, God, and you're done. That's it. And there is no real existence beyond that. So it doesn't, to me, that's not even hopeful, right? But that's what's taught. So when we pick up on Monday, we're gonna kind of bring this down to a micro level, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one type of pantheism, which is Buddhism. And we'll talk a little bit about the theology of Buddhism, and then we'll move on to Spiritism. That's it for today.